We are finally here, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally here with it Nothing But Raiders podcast. Finally was able to bring this podcast back and finally talk some Raider football. I am your host, Darian of the Spotlight Football Talk and the host of the Darian Hopkins Show, which you'll see every Tuesday and every Thursday, right on the other side of my other YouTube channel as well. But without further ado, we are finally here to talk Raiders football. I've been getting a lot of questions in the live chats when we do the NFL games and everything of that nature. So we're going to answer all those questions tonight. We're going to answer them today on this podcast. And with my newest co-host, y'all seen him on the divisional round prediction video. Y'all going to be seeing him more often. My co-host, Leo, of the Nothing But Raiders podcast. Good evening, brother. What's going on with you?
What's up, brother? What's up, man? Just here chilling. Can't wait to talk, Raider football because it's what I live, breathe. That's my team. As good as these games were this weekend, and still can't help but wish, damn, we should be in there. We should be in that damn playoff, It should be us
I
upsetting
still
these
wish we
teams.
could be in the playoffs too, bro. I really wish, man. Oh my God. It's another story for another time when it comes to the Raiders being in the playoffs. We'll probably talk about that in another podcast or something of that nature, man. But for everybody, this is your first time being at this YouTube page at the Spotlight Football Talk. We highly suggest that y'all subscribe, hit the bell button, and get the latest news and all Raiders and all football news right here on the Spotlight Football Talk. Especially you'll see Nothing But Raiders podcast right here, and you'll hear it on audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. You'll hear it everywhere on a audio platform. So make sure you watch it everywhere or listen to it anywhere you want to go, on your phone, in your car, whatever. We here for Nothing But Raiders podcast. So Leo, man,
What's up, bro?
tell me, man, what you got for me today when it comes to these topics, man? Because I know a lot of people been talking Derek Carr and you know this roster and these coaches and all of that. What's going on, man? What you got for me, man?
Man, first and foremost, it's like everybody, this whole thing with Carr. We gotta talk about it because there's so many people that feel, oh, they got did dirty. He just took up time here. We should have moved on from him a while ago. Is he gonna, do better once he leaves? Is he gonna find success before we do? I think it all just depends on like where you look at it or where you stand as far as the team's organization. We got this coach, McDaniels. I know last time you called him McDummy. I see why. I question a lot of the calls throughout the season. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be this offensive genius. But I'm also know that we're not just a quarterback away from our team being complete. You know what I
Thank
mean? You got
God
to be
somebody said it. Thank
you
God
you got to
somebody
be
said it.
real about it. Like, yeah, Carr was here, and you know what? I'll just say I was a Carr fan, but not because he was like elite, but because for so many years we had that carousel. And this dude finally brought some stability to that one position.
Right.
The way the team worked, we had the Jack Del Rio era, afterwards, and then we had Gruden come, and then now we got this new one. So that's a lot of change. I mean, not to put it all, oh, he should have, it was too much for him, but you still got to appreciate what he did here. Did we excel? Nah, we could have did better. This year, I'm not gonna lie, I expected a lot from this team. Maybe I bought into the hype that you hear on ESPN
I
about the
think
Raiders
everybody did.
offense. McDaniels, the Raider offense. Like, oh my God, I was getting my boys, my kiddos hyped for this season, telling them who Devontae was and all this and that. But it was just hard to go through the season having those expectations, having made the playoffs last year.
Right.
And then to see this, it was just like saddening. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, we're going to do this. And to lose the games the way we did.
I don't even want to get when it comes to them second half leads, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Josh McDaniels did not make no adjustments in any of those halves, bro. He said, "Let's stick to the game plan, and they not gonna make adjustments. These other teams not gonna make adjustments. We gonna keep doing what we doing."
Right.
That's exactly what Josh McDaniels showed us. For real. He said, and it goes all the way back to the off season before this season started, right? He said it's not a rebuild; it's a retool.
Right.
And I hated that. No, I'm not gonna lie. I liked it at first because I felt like we went 10-7 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm like, this is a retool. That means we're gonna motivate and get better than 10-7. I'm like, all right.
Right.
I like the way Josh McDaniels talking in his press conference. And then we see Josh McDaniels cussing out players at training camp, seeing the enthusiasm from a coach. And I'm like, okay, Josh McDaniels is learning from his stint with the Denver Broncos. Okay, cool.
Right.
Regular season. Well, I wanted to say preseason. I went to the Hall of Fame game. Okay, very impressed. Very impressed with, going 4-0 in the preseason. But it's preseason. It doesn't count. But still.
Yeah.
Regular season starts. I don't know what the hell happened, bro. I don't know what the hell happened, bro. It's just that the more we lost, the more we got defeated as a football team. Yeah, we went on a 3-game winning streak. Cool. But we still had to climb to get back in the winning record. We had to climb back all year because we lost lead after lead after lead. And then we went and got Patrick Graham. And what the hell did he do for us? He looked like Paul Gunther 2.0. That's exactly what he looked like.
He did.
So yeah, just the overall thing of this season, I was very disappointed. I definitely went into the hype, and I definitely fed into the hype, and I was talking shit too.
Oh
what? Bro, I was talking mad shit to any team in the league. I'm like, we're gonna smoke y'all. And even in my record predictions, I had us going like 12, like 13, winning 13, 14 games.
Did you?
Yeah, man. It was bad.
Wow.
It was bad, bro. And I'm like, now I gotta eat my goddamn words. I gotta eat them.
That's the worst part. Yeah.
I gotta eat them because this team was underachieving with a offensive-minded guru in Josh McDaniels, when Greg Olsen was a better play caller than him last year than he was to Josh McDaniels this year.
Yeah.
It's a fact. But to get onto the Derek Carr thing, I don't know if you agree with me on this one, but I don't like how the organization went about benching Derek Carr the last two home games.
Right.
I think if you it really doesn't sit right with me because I feel like Derek Carr was a scapegoat to getting Devontae Adams. I don't care what nobody says or what you hear in the chat, bro. It's a scapegoat. It's a scapegoat. Yeah. And I just feel like the organization could have did him better after the 9 years that he gave us, even though we only had 2 playoff appearances in the 9 years that he was here.
Right.
But we're gonna get more into Derek Carr on, while we're moving on from him. But I just feel like the organization could have did better and did it right. Let him play out the last 2 games. If you know you're going to move on from him, let him play it out. Thank you, Raider Nation. Appreciate it. Wave out to the sunset. Leave Allegiant Stadium, and boom, season over.
What I was saying. Yeah.
So now, Derek Carr. Listen. I know Derek Carr don't curse. And I know he's a man of God. But once he leaves the Raiders and he starts winning, he's gonna be like, up yours. I'm sorry to say. He's gonna be like, up yours. Because how you did me dirty and I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this organization with a bad back, a broken leg. Like, what else do you want? Like, you're gonna get more into it. I just wanted to say that, but go ahead, talk about it, man.
I get it too, and like I get people the comeback I always get because I feel the same way you did. They could have did him so much better the way he left. He didn't have to leave like that.
Right.
Like, but he got millions of dollars. He made what quarterbacks were making where his level was at. It's not like he was overly paid. I get this new contract, the other part, the 40 million that's coming up. That's different. I get that part. But to me, like, go back to the beginning, the McDaniels talk and all that. Like, you believe the hype. My whole thing was, if you're going to ride with Carr, okay, cool, ride with him. You guys said we're just going to, like you said, we're not going to do a rebuild, the retool. So I was like, okay, are we going to stick with Carr or are you going to move on, bro? Make the decision. When they gave him that contract extension, I was like, okay, I'm cool. So we're gonna ride with Carr for a couple of years. If
Mm-hmm.
it works out, it does. If not, then we move on. Cool. But the way it went down, and I get it. Like the Pittsburgh game, I was here at home watching it with my pops and my daughter. Horrible game.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible game, especially that last throw, with Hunter. Hunter was open, the middle of the field, whatever. Those interceptions. He had a horrible game. I get it. But to me, it just didn't sit right to have him bench those 2 games and then not be on the field, not be on the sidelines. Like, this
Right.
is the dude who's led your team the last 9 years, and he can't even be on the sideline because you don't want him to be a distraction? Carr has never been the type of player where he will make a big deal or this big old, like, controversy type.
Right.
He's always conducted himself. Even this last tweet that he just came out, about what did he say about there's been a lot of people who've offered to their platform to say his side of the story. But he's
Mm-hmm.
choosing just to let it go. Y'all go your way, I'm going mine. Me and mine are gonna go do our thing. That's the kind of player he is. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't see it going any different if they ask him, you know what, hey, we're gonna bench you this game, see what's going on with Stiddy, see what he can do, and to see how he would react. So there's something there that just never added up to me. But the whole Adam scapegoat thing, you think that's really why they got
Yes.
to get Adam?
Let me make it clear, man. Let me make it clear, right? It was already being talked about.
Before.
Devontae Adams coming here because that's Derek Carr's best friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams is a big Raiders fan and always wanted to play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And to have his best friend play for, the Raiders already playing at Fresno, I think it was Fresno State, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
were at Fresno State, yeah.
Yeah, it was Fresno State. We trade for Devontae Adams, give up first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Devontae Adams got his contract, Derek Carr got signed.
Yeah.
So you signed Derek Carr to $40 million, even though that he had a bad year this year, one of his worst years of his career, and now you want to get rid of him. Yeah. What was the point of the extension if you're going to get rid of him by the end of the season anyway? So looking at it, you go get Devontae Adams. Everybody talking about Tom Brady next year, Aaron Rodgers next year, Lamar Jackson next year.
Yeah.
And we still in the regular season, and we still have a chance to make the playoffs, God forbid.
Right. Small, but it was still
there. You telling me you paid that man $40 million just to give him the boot because you went and got Devontae Adams because that was his best friend?
Right.
Come on. Y'all got to make that make sense. There's no way. I don't think Devontae Adams would have ever came here if Derek Carr was not the quarterback.
Oh, no.
That's what makes Derek Carr the scapegoat. Now they want to get rid of him. You don't let him play the last 2 games of the regular season. Now you want to get rid of him because you went out and got Devontae Adams. So my question still remains. Why pay the man $40 million when you could have let him walk if you didn't want him next year?
Right. And then structure it the way
organization problem.
And then structure it the way they did it to where you have your hands tied.
Right.
You can't trade him unless he agrees to it. And February 15th, that means you still have to trust whoever he agrees to is going to follow through with the trade once everything opens up in March.
Yeah.
Like you're going on that. And if you don't, how do you do that extension knowing that you're going to get rid of him? Like that makes no sense to me. Like, is this the type of general manager stuff we have to look forward to? Like we don't need to go back to that era where we signed every Super Bowl MVP just because they got one good game and give them the huge ass contract. We don't need to be making these ridiculous contracts like that, man. This organization needs to start getting smarter with that. Like I get it. If that wasn't your dude, okay, it wasn't your dude. You used him to bring in Adams. Why give him that extension? I just don't get it.
Yeah, you just spent. So now the organization has to bite themselves in the ass.
Yep.
When it comes to the cap hit, because either way, if you release them or trade them, it's still gonna be a cap hit regardless. Even though you'll get something back in return if you do trade Derek Carr, you still get some type of capital or some type of player. Don't know what kind of player that you would get, but you still get something for him of trading him instead of releasing him. But even in that instance, you knew he was the final year of his contract. Just let that man play out his contract and just let him walk. He could go anywhere in the NFL. Now you're stuck with a $40 million guaranteed contract, where a lot of NFL teams is probably not going to look into his $40 million, depending on who needs a quarterback.
Right.
And that's where we go into the next topic of Derek Carr. Where does Derek Carr go now? Who's going to be willing to take that risk to go trade for Derek Carr? What teams you got in mind that you think that needs needs Derek Carr right now? Like as far as winning wise,
ideally, like we talked last week, we love football. We watch the games.
Right.
I see the New York Jets and how bad they just need a quarterback. Like this team battled throughout the season, that defense just carrying that when they had Wilson not being able to complete a damn throw, not being able to hit a wide open receiver, on small ones, not even long passes, small outs, whatever. So I'm thinking like, man, he would be the ideal fit there. But then you think like, okay, well, can they afford him? What are they going to have to give up? Not only that, but then there's the whole thing with the weather. Is he going to be able to play in New York? I hear playing in New York's a whole nother monster. It's like a basketball player coming to the Lakers. The media and everything just takes over when you go to New York. Is Derek Carr going to be able to withstand the New York media playing on the Jets? So I see the Jets, to me, ideally, that would benefit him. And he would have probably the most success than, say, like the Commanders or the Colts or the Saints.
It's only 3 teams that you named them too. But I like him with the New Orleans Saints first.
Okay. His old coach.
I think they have a great defense over there that will definitely help them offensively. They have the weapons. You have an Alvin Kamara. You have possibly Michael Thomas come back. He could reunite with a few people over there. The Saints is one of them. The Commanders, I like the Commanders. I really do. I just don't know their salary situation when it comes to going to get Derek Carr.
I'm not sure on that.
I'm not trading Derek Carr for Carson Wentz. Absolutely not. So please do not put him in the package if you want to go trade. I do not want Carson Wentz.
Yeah, no. We do not want
it. That means we're going back to a quarterback carousel again once this trade happens if we go get Carson Wentz.
Yeah, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. That's the other part. We can't. If we're moving forward from Carr, they better have a damn plan. We do not need to be going through this damn carousel again. No, we can't.
And of course, the New York Jets. I think the New York Jets is the more suitable because you see an upside with the Jets.
Oh, definitely.
You see more of an upside with the Jets than the other 2 teams. Even though the Commanders started out really bad and played really well with Taylor Heineke, then switch it back to Taylor Heineke. They still got a good defense over there. They still got Terry McLaurin and a few other young weapons. But the Jets are, for me, I feel like the Jets is only one offensive lineman and one quarterback away, from getting where they. I feel like if they would have had Carr this year, they would have made the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
they would have made the playoffs. Sure. Well, we would have been sitting home. I'm just being honest. We would have been sitting home. Yeah. So, yeah, I say the Jets, Commanders, Saints is my top 3.
You don't think the Colts?
I don't want him to go to the Colts.
Oh,
look what they did to Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan wasn't that bad. That's crazy. When Matt Ryan got traded from Atlanta, he wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't. Yeah,
they made him look terrible. I do not want him to go to Indianapolis. I don't. And then you don't know who the coach is in Indianapolis at this point. But you might be. Hold up, I'm thinking about this, and you might be right. Rich Bisaccia did get interviewed for the Indianapolis Colts job.
When I saw that, I was like,
Wait a minute now. We might got something.
And like, you hired Goldberg? Okay.
We might hire him. If you hire Rich Bisaccia as your head coach, he's going after Derek Carr. I don't give a shit what nobody say. He's going after Derek Carr. I don't know who his assistant coaches would be.
Right.
But I think he will go after Derek Carr. Carr loves Bisaccia. He loves him.
Oh, you saw what they did last year?
Right. Me personally, The whole team loved him. I think everybody on the team hates McDaniels. I don't give a shit. Y'all can say whatever y'all gotta say
Right.
on media, on the Raiders media. Y'all can be
Exactly.
politically correct.
Correct. Yeah.
But knowing damn well behind the locker room, be like, man, fuck Josh McDaniels, man.
Right.
They say fuck Josh McDaniels.
Oh,
You can
I
tell
the boys
the
all
play.
the time.
You can tell from the
Yes.
play. And this is where I knew the Raiders checked out. This is when I knew the Raiders checked out on Josh McDaniels, the New Orleans Saints game.
I was there.
That's when I knew they checked out. They did not show up to play for Josh McDaniels at all. But if that was Rich Bisaccia, Rich Bisaccia probably behind closed doors. I think Rich Bisaccia really knows how to lead a team behind closed doors. He's not really a vocal person to get in front of a camera,
right,
and do it. But behind closed doors, he probably getting on your ass.
Oh yeah.
So me personally, you know, the Colts might be one, bro.
They might be one.
The
It just
Colts
depends on who they hire as that head coach. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The Colts can be one. If Rich Bisaccia is the head coach, then Carr's going there. That's my number one choice. That's only if Bisaccia is named the head coach for the Colts.
For the Colts. Yeah.
So, all right. So now we are post Derek Carr, right?
Right.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, we're gonna get into is Derek Carr better than Dak Prescott? We're gonna get into that.
Please.
We seen that conversation all on Twitter and everything today. Yeah, we're gonna get into that
all
too.
Over.
So with me, who you think is going to be our next quarterback? Because I don't think everybody can be mad at me in this chat when they see this video. I don't think the Raiders got a goddamn plan who they want at quarterback. I don't think Mark Davis in this organization does not have a plan.
You don't think they have a plan?
No.
I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong. I think their plan, I think Mark was like, you know what? I want Brady. You know, there's rumors that he wanted him before.
Yeah.
You know, and that Derek or John, whoever, stopped that from happening, but that he was supposed to come over here and he didn't. I really think they're going to try and bring Brady over here for a year or two because it's McDaniels boys, you know. Mark's going to drink the Kool-Aid, buy into it, you know. Let me bring him in here. Let me see what we can do. Do I want that to happen? I still don't see that as you solving the plan. You're just bringing in a temporary person. You still have to address that position.
You still have to address everything else on this team outside of the quarterback position.
Right.
Because let me tell y'all something, right? The fans gonna be mad at me about this one. Did y'all watch the wild card game? Did any of y'all watch the wild card game?
Right.
When Brady does not have an offensive line, he struggles. And what does the Raiders have?
Oh, but did you hear the new one? Oh, but we're not that bad. We're the 10th, ranked offensive line. I'm like, first of all,
according to Pro Football, the Pro Football fuckers. I don't care. That's exactly what they are. Pro Football fuckers. I don't believe shit that they say. The 10th ranked offensive line.
No way. Did you see the last game? Stidham was running for his life against Kansas City. What do you think would have happened to Tom Brady?
Mind you, we protected Stidham against the number one team in the 49ers, but we could not protect them against the Kansas City Chiefs. Make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's too many holes on this team that you're just going to bring in Brady. And now there's this whole thing, well, if we bring Brady, other players are going to want to come just to play with Tom. So that's a whole nother reason why they want to bring in Brady.
Well, who else can we really get on offense to help Tom Brady? He has enough weapons here. We don't need nothing else but an offensive line.
Right.
Like, what? See, people irk me, and some of these content creators kill me.
Right.
Saying the dumbest shit in the world. Especially the Lamar Jackson shit. All I see on Instagram is Lamar Jackson. People must have forget that Lamar Jackson never had a 4,000 passing yard season in his career. He only had one 3,000 yard game, one 3,000 yard year, almost 3,900. The year that he won MVP. It has not been the same since.
No, he hasn't.
But we talk about a Derek Carr that's been consistent for 4,000 passing yards over the years. And Lamar Jackson had a defense, and Carr never had a defense in 9 years. But y'all want Lamar Jackson, a person that can't throw. I said it. He can't throw.
Nope.
So scratch him off. The Ravens said they want to re-sign him. Scratch him off.
Well, they already announced they're going to keep him, right? He's going to get to pick his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the franchise tag.
Yeah.
But scratch off Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's going to retire.
You think so?
After all he went through this year with his divorce with his wife, then he retired and unretired. The only reason why his wife left him because he still was playing football.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to hang it up. And it's father time with him.
Oh, it is.
It's father time. I don't think he can put enough oomph on the football anymore. Especially if you don't have an offensive line to back you.
Right.
So I think he needs to retire. Who else we got that we could probably get at quarterback? We could talk about the draft.
Yeah.
Because
what do you think about the whole Rodgers thing, though?
See, y'all know Aaron Rodgers is the highest paid quarterback ever.
The
highest paid player ever in the NFL right now, right? So if we go out and get Aaron Rodgers, what the hell do we got to go give up to get him? Because we're going to have to give up a whole lifeline of people to go get him. So you really need to shut this whole team out to go get an Aaron Rodgers because all that money Aaron Rodgers is owed to the Green Bay Packers. It's not logical. People need to stop thinking about, okay, it's the name. It's Aaron Rodgers. The money and the contract is the reason why we will not go get Aaron Rodgers. You're going to have to restructure everybody, all 53-man roster, including Devontae Adams, just got the big payday this year.
Right.
You're going to have to restructure him, restructure Waller, restructure Renfro, restructure all these people that you re-signed to nice contracts just to get Aaron Rodgers. It's not happening.
And we still haven't re-signed Jacobs.
That's why I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's at the end of the day, it's all about money. Right. Do we have the money for Aaron Rodgers? We don't. We don't, bro.
No, it's like a $65 million cash bonus that he's owed, right? Yeah.
He's owed a lot of money that we don't got. Mind you, if you trade Carr for Aaron Rodgers, that's still a cap hit on top of Aaron Rodgers' contract. Like, this is what gets me about Raiders fans sometimes, man. Sometimes they just don't think logically. Like, okay, the big name, it sounds pretty.
It does. Like it does, you know?
It sounds pretty. It sounds, let me see, what word I'm looking for? Promising.
Promising is a good word.
It sounds promising, but I'm more realistic. So I'm more realistic about it. So when it comes to options, we could move on to the draft. Now, I did have a scenario for you, though, because a lot of people, I said this on my live a couple weeks ago.
What's that?
And I said the only way I would love to get Tom Brady if we go out and get Stetson Bennett in the draft. And I'm going to tell you why.
Please,
I'm going to tell you why. Stetson Bennett is a two-time national champion at Georgia back-to-back years. He has the same story as Tom Brady, but it's just collegiate in NFL. Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. Nobody looked at him. No. Short, slinky, can't run, not a strong arm. Kind of the same thing for Stetson Bennett. He came on as a walk-on at Georgia. He had to earn a scholarship to stay at Georgia. He sat behind 2 quarterbacks for his first 2 years. Got the starting job and won back-to-back national championships. That's the only way we go out against Stetson Bennett if we have Tom Brady. I do not want to get Stetson Bennett if we got somebody that's not going to really teach him the game.
Oh, okay.
So if don't get me wrong, I like all the quarterbacks in the draft, but let's keep it a buck. And I'm going to ask you this question. Outside of Justin Fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last great Ohio State quarterback outside of Justin Fields that's successful in the NFL?
You had to go there, huh?
Because everybody loves CJ Stroud. I don't have
They
nothing
do.
against him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm being realistic again. When was the last time we saw a successful Ohio State quarterback in the NFL outside of Justin Fields? And Justin Fields not really successful, but he's just dynamic.
He's
as an
dynamic.
athlete.
He's more of an athlete than a quarterback.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of him, who can we really name?
Yeah, not too many. No, I get it. I get that part. I get that argument. But I mean, I think that's the thing with college. You just never know. You brought up Brady, 6th-round pick. Nobody said anything. He just became, their work ethic was a part they didn't look at. He had no arm. Dude ends up being one of the greatest quarterback ever with all the Super Bowls in the run. Is
Right.
it all him, or was it the system he was in? The way New England was, the coaching. Belichick ain't no punk. They don't draft just to draft. They draft what fits their team, their needs. They don't draft best player available. They draft to fit
And that's
their
our
needs.
problem.
That's our problem right there. We draft best player available. First prime example, last year's draft. Why do we pick 2 running backs?
I mean, Zamir White was good at Georgia.
I get that.
I get it. He was good at Georgia, but we picked up more than 2. I think we picked up 3. And I think it was 3 running backs.
Yeah, the 2 were in the draft. The other one was free agent. What's his name, right?
I think it was Britton Brown, Zamir White, and we got it was an undrafted free agent.
Undrafted one. Yeah.
It was an undrafted free agent that we had too. But doing this podcast is just hilarious to me talking about this. I've been very quiet. I see all these other content creators watch it and do their opinions about it. So there's one guy in the draft that Just Blog Baby, according to Just Blog Baby, talked about. Anthony Richardson.
AR-15. Yeah.
AR-15 from the University of Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is raw. You gotta get him. I don't think he's an immediate start in the NFL. I would not. And they saying that should they go get him at number 7?
Oh, that's too high.
I say no. AR-15 is not a top 10 pick in his league. He's not. No. He's not a top 10 pick. And I think we need to address the O-line and the defense in the first round, some way, somehow. And people want to pick up, with Will Levis, trash, garbage, dumpster juice. He's dumpster juice. Will Levis is dumpster juice. But Anthony AR-15, he didn't really have a spectacular year. I mean, he had almost 600 yards on the ground as a quarterback. He didn't even throw for 3,000 yards in college football. So that's why I feel like he's raw, but I think he just have to be. He got I don't know the word I can't. Like, he has to be taught or has to be
groomed into a quarterback, because he's not a quarterback right now. Yeah. I love watching college football, particularly the SEC. So I saw a lot of those Florida games. Especially you hear the hype behind him. He's big, he's fast, dude's an amazing athlete,
Right.
But when you watch his games, and I tell people, because I've seen them all these blogs showing about AR-15, look at these throws, look at these arms, watch the game. Don't look at his highlights. Look at the stuff that he messed up, that he didn't do. How many open receivers he didn't see or he missed, and simple throws that a quarterback should be making or be able to read, and he can't do those. And I get it. Like, he definitely is raw. He needs to be groomed. He needs to be conditioned into a quarterback. But you don't waste the number 7 pick on somebody you're going to groom. No way.
That's a fact.
No. And then McDaniels, does he really have the best history of grooming quarterbacks?
No. Not from Florida at that. Tim Tebow to be one of them.
Tebow. Like, I get Brady. People are going to say, oh, what about Brady? Brady's Brady. You can't just say that. But Brady's Brady. But you're talking about bringing in somebody raw like that. And it just reminded me the whole Tebow thing.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Not that high. So, wait. So you're not sold on Stroud?
I'm not really sold on Stroud just yet. Not yet. He has to prove to me that he can play in the NFL.
Yeah.
He has to prove to me that he can play in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great talent.
Right.
He's a great talent. But I just know the history of Ohio State quarterbacks. I just know that history is just sometimes history. I mean, Justin Fields was one of a kind. You didn't see no other Ohio State quarterback before Justin Fields. You sure did. I mean, at the time you had Dwayne Haskins, but Dwayne Haskins, God bless his soul, he wasn't that great either. God forbid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to talk about a dead man, but I'm just saying when he was here, he was playing, he wasn't at his best.
No.
You know, so same thing. A little same thing for Alabama too. Like outside of Tua, outside of Jalen Hurts, who else can you really name that's a great Alabama quarterback?
Yeah.
Then you got that's what I'm saying. But Bryce Young. Bryce Young is very good. I think he's another great talent like C.J. Stroud. But C.J. Stroud is bigger. And Bryce Young you gotta get swole a little bit, man.
You gotta get a little more meat on them bones.
Protein or something. Like, you skinny, bro. Like, you're
right.
going to get demolished in the NFL if you don't put on some muscle. So I like Bryce Young too. I just see CJ Stroud being gone. I see Bryce Young being gone. And I'm gonna be biased here. I'm a Tennessee fan, right?
Oh, you're gonna hooker.
Yes. Yes. If the Raiders go get hit in hooker, I'm fine.
Okay.
That man was having a Heisman year.
Oh, he was. He really was.
Before he got hurt. So Raiders, listen, I understand if you don't want to get him in the first round, look at that second and third. That's all. Listen, I'm being biased about it. I'm being biased about it. So I mean, but AR-15, like I said, he's a great talent. He definitely can move around. I just don't see it happening. Being a number 7 pick.
And that's right now on
a number 7 pick.
Exactly. There's so many more needs we have than to go with that 7th pick on the quarterback. And everywhere you see is they need to draft the quarterback with that pick. We need to find our franchise quarterback with that pick. You don't know if these guys are going to come in and be that guy. Not everybody's Mahomes. You know, not everybody's Burrow. Not everybody's Allen. Like, these dudes just don't. You know, I get the young guys. They're different the way they're coming out of college. You know, they're a lot more ready. I mean, it was clearly evident. Look at the AFC side of the playoffs, you know? It's very evident that these young guys come out ready to play more in the NFL. I see that. But to think that, oh, just because we got you at 7, you're going to come save our franchise when we still need corners. We still need help on that D-line. You know? Come on. That O-line still needs to be patched up. Did it get better? Yes. It got better, but it still needs work.
It's great against the offense. It's great against the run, but it's not great against the pass. And we need a pass blocking better.
That's the thing. That's why I tell people with that 10 PFF rank or whatever. We're good at
because of the run
blocking. We're good run. We had Jacobs, you know, good run game, but passing, no.
Yeah, it's because of the run game, man. It definitely is. But I want to move on to a different subject. Now, we see that we have a lot of questions on our football team outside of the quarterback position, because that's what we talked about almost 38 minutes in to this goddamn podcast. Shit. 4 players that need to improve going into 2023 that's on this roster right now. And the 4 that I think that needs to improve is 4 of them, but 3 of them is on the defense.
Okay.
So one is supposed to be the anchor of our offensive line, Andre James.
Okay.
There's no way that you come from being the backup to one of the best centers in football in Rodney Hudson and looks like shit.
Right.
Like, where is your leadership on this offensive line? You are the anchor. You are the reason why the offensive linemen move. And you played like shit this year. Sorry to say, but you did. Right. Number 2, Trayvon Merrick.
Oh.
Very disappointing year for him. He had a better rookie season than he had this season. I don't know if it was the system that Patrick Graham got, But something got to give with Trayvon Merrick, man. We got you what in the second round, third round last year, and the Raiders was highly on him. Because I mean, it was other content creators saying Javon Holland. Now I'm kind of eating my words with that. I said I ain't want Javon Holland.
You want to
Now that he's doing good in Miami. So Trayvon Merrick gotta improve this season too, man. Definitely gotta improve. My third one, Devon Diablo.
Nah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I hate when our organization tried to turn safeties into linebackers. I hate it. I hate it. I think it's the dumbest move. You take away their strengths as a safety because you want them to play linebacker. And this is why we have issues at the linebacker position because we're not drafting at the position. So Devon Diablo is still learning how to be a linebacker. He has a safety mind. So Devon Diablo has to improve if he wants to stay at that linebacker position because Luke Masterson is coming for your spot, bro.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's coming for your spot, bro. Let's keep it a buck. And last but not least, which I thought we got in the offseason, and I thought that he would be good, but he did start. Well, he still played all 17 games for us. Bilal Nichols.
Oh.
I thought Bilal Nichols was a great pickup for us in the offseason. I saw him play with Chicago and looked at the tape. I thought, okay, this is a solid D tackle. You've been a disappearing act all year. All year. So they are my 4 players that I feel like that got to improve this year. Do you have any players that you think that need to improve this year? Like, because they my 4.
I'm definitely with you on Devon Diablo. Definitely with you on Devon Diablo because I get he got hurt. You know, there's all this hype behind him, but you need to step up. He really does, especially in that linebacker. Like now, you really need coming in next year. You need to be that dude as our linebacker. If that's what you're gonna do. Like you need to do this because, like you said, that's a position that we haven't had in years. Perriman brought in a little bit toughness, a little bit of swag to it, but Perriman always gets hurt. That's my thing with Perriman. You know, he gets hurt, doesn't finish the year, but then we have Diablo. Right. Another one I think that I want to mention on the secondary was Hobbs. And I think that goes back to maybe I don't think maybe he doesn't fit the system, but to me, he played better last year than he did this year. Like I saw him not as good this year than I did last year.
Do you think it's because of the fact that he had to move to the outside because of all the injuries?
Maybe.
Because you know that because I feel like he's not an outside corner. And Anthony Averett and Rock Ya-Sin has not been healthy for us all year.
All year.
And he was forced to move outside. I think as a slot, he definitely gets the job done. But I get it. I totally get it. Sometimes you gotta make that adjustment to learn how to play outside corner. So I get it.
And then I mean, as a corner, do you want to? Most corners have this, this arrogance to them, this swag. Like,
swag, right?
You just want to be known as the inside corner. Is that all you can do is play? No, you got to be able to play on the outside too.
But what makes him so good on the inside is that he doesn't have to cover all the time. You can see him on that corner blitz too, right. Where he got his sacks last year. You made it. You can make it. You could be creative as an inside corner. You could do a lot of things. You could come down and stop the run, which he was really good at as an inside corner.
Right.
So, yeah, but I get it though. I think he needs to be a little bit more versatile, in my opinion.
And then the other one was probably the one I had the most hype for coming into this year for our defense. And he had his moments, but he definitely needs to bring it. And maybe age has caught up with him, but Chandler Jones.
Oh, here we go.
Bro, I get it. And this is another thing that gets me. Like you hear Max and them talk about how essential he is to the team. And I get it. I hear you. We're all a team. We get it, but I need more production out of you, bro. We brought you in here to be opposite of Max so you guys can meet in the middle. And it didn't happen. Like, what happened?
See, I'm a type of person where I got to look at the film and see what went wrong.
Right.
So if anybody, any content creator, right, outside of Sanjit, and a few others that does actual breakdown film, make sure y'all go get that all 22 film on NFL Plus. Watch it, because just because he didn't get the pressures and the sacks,
right,
but he definitely was impactful in a different way. He didn't live up to the sack total that he did when he was in Arizona. He didn't do what he did in Arizona. I understand that, and I think he needs to improve on that.
Yeah.
But if you ever break down the film on Chandler Jones, and you see the outside runs that he forced him back inside, you do your job. That's a job done for a defensive end. So it's the small things for me that I catch on Chandler Jones when I'm watching on film. But I get what you're saying, though. You pay that man all this money to get all these goddamn sacks. What's up?
That was why. That's what I was gonna say. I get he does those things. Like, I've seen them. Like, I've seen some of those films you're talking about. They break it down, what he does on the edge. But we brought you here to get that pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
That's why you were paid all that money.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of lived up to it one time when he gave the game-winning walk-off.
Yeah. And then there was that other game, right, where he had like 3 sacks. What game was that?
Yeah, but I don't remember the game but I know exactly what you talk about. I know what game you talk. I know because I actually did the game when he did have those 3 sacks.
Okay.
But the walk-off was the memorable one for me.
That was
when I tell you, I was live for that.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was live for that, and I went insane on the live. It was back to back. It was kind of like back to back weeks. Like, yo, you had the Josh Jacobs run in Seattle, and then I think the following week it was that. Don't quote me on that though, but
no, that was one.
It was like the last couple of weeks we go into overtime, and the way we win games is like, yo, like are we catching on to something here? Like, what is going on? But I definitely agree with you with Chandler Jones, though. At the end of the day, I do. Definitely do, because those Chandler Jones, if he's going to stay here, he got a ball. He got a ball next season.
Got to. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on Nichols too, though, because so many people don't realize how important that inside pressure is. That push. You know, you got to get that push up the middle.
Me personally, it's not just Bilal Nichols; it's the whole damn defensive tackle as a whole.
That's what I was going to get at. The whole
depth chart.
Tackles, yes.
All the D tackles gotta play. Shit, because I ain't seen no pressure up the middle. Even when, unfortunately, Jonathan Hankins was cool, blah blah blah, but he wasn't doing shit here either. You know, but that's another story for another time, man. So
yeah.
Like, I just feel like the defensive tackles gotta be better, man. I mean, Max Crosby and sometimes Chandler Jones, they get the pressure, but we never get pressure up the middle. Never.
No. And when we
I think the last couple of years we haven't.
Different.
Yeah.
The what game was it? Was a Charger game? The Charger game when they finally got a little bit of pressure, and look what the defense was able to do that game. You know? Yeah. It was that Charger game. You got to get that pressure, but yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Josh Jacobs, man, the league's leading rusher, and the guy had a phenomenal year, man. He had a phenomenal year, and even though all the banged up seasons that he had, he was even banged up this year, and he was running with a goddamn purpose. This is when I knew that Josh Jacobs was going to be special this year when he played in a Hall of Fame game. I'm like, you have your star running back playing in a meaningless Hall of Fame game, and he's running like a bad habit. He's running motherfuckers over, getting the yardage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when I knew this season was going to be special for him. That's one thing I can say. The offense, one thing I say about Josh McDaniels, he did give the ball a lot to Josh Jacobs. And sometimes you didn't need to give the ball to him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Josh Jacobs took a lot of load this year, even with all the running backs we had on the depth chart.
Right. Yeah.
He took a lot of load this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Zamir White could have got some chances in there. I don't think he got enough chances.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to third down situations that you need like 5 yards, you got Amir Abdullah could catch the ball out the backfield.
Yeah.
I really think they should bring him back. If he's a free agent, do not let that man walk. That's just me. You don't let Josh Jacobs or Amir Abdullah walk. That's just my personal opinion. I like the 1-2 punch there, even though Zamir White is going to stay there.
Right.
That's your 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
Keep him.
No, I say you keep him. Even with White, even with him here, like you said, you use them so much, you gotta have more than 1-2 running backs. So why not keep White and Jacobs as your 1-2 punch?
You gotta have running back by committee in this league.
Yeah, you do. You can have one. Look what happens. Look what happened with Henry. Look what happens with Henry.
Didn't have no backup.
There's no back. It was just Henry. Yeah.
Right. He didn't have no backup at all. So
we don't need to do that to Jacobs, but they really need to sign Josh Jacobs. Why they didn't pick up his option, I don't know. Maybe McDaniels and Ziegler were like, we don't know about this guy. We're not part of this.
Because of his injuries the previous years.
Right. Like, so he's been injured. We don't think we're not going to, whatever. And now now it's going to cost you even more to keep him there.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as far as your prediction go, as far as like what type of contract he's going to get, I mean, if you look at it right now, Christian McCaffrey, he's one of the highest players at 16 million on an average. Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, they both have 15. And then you had the next 5 players within 12 to 12.6 million annually.
Mm-hmm.
They think that Josh Jacobs could probably get that much. So, me personally, I've been seeing a lot of numbers out there for Josh Jacobs. Think about 5 years, 63 million, 28 million guaranteed. That put him as a top paid running back, in the average of 12.6 million on the average. Even Dalvin Cook saw 16 million guaranteed at signing, which means it's only 12 million that will be spread over the next 5 years. I mean, what number you think that we will get for Josh Jacobs? Because $63 million, 28 million guaranteed, that's 12 million over the next 5 years. How long does I don't know about that. I know that Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher, but when these guys get paid, they don't do nothing the next year.
And that's the scary part.
That's the scary part about playing running back in this league.
That's the scary part about playing running back in this league. Because you don't know what's going to happen next year, or even the 5 years. 5 years, honestly, I love Josh Jacobs. It seems like a lot to make a contract for that many years.
Yeah.
For Josh Jacobs,
I think 5 years is a bit too much, especially on a running back.
Man.
So if it was me, I would make it, but I think it would be lowballing him if you give him 2 to 3 years because of the productivity.
That's the other part, because then they're going to want
the productivity you gave him. So it's just like, what number do you have? So for anybody that's going to be watching this, right? Put your predictions of Josh Jacobs' contract in the chat. Because Leo, I don't know, bro. If you was Dave Ziegler, what type of contract you would give Josh Jacobs?
I'm still tripping that you said that Zeke Elliott makes 15.
Him and Alvin Kamara makes 15. Yeah.
When he ain't even the best running back on that team. But that's a whole nother story.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that when we do our recap and we conference championship predictions. That's going to be fun.
But I could see them doing the 12, 13 for Josh. I wouldn't be mad. 12, 13 per year. Definitely having the rushing title is going to have a little bit more. I was a rushing leader. I should make more. Aiming for that 13, 14 range. And that might be where Ziegler is like, how many years we talking about? But I wouldn't be mad if they signed him for 12, 13 mil a year. Yeah. But 5 years, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
3, 4?
5 years is kind of like, I
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
don't
oh, what
know.
do? They do what, like what, 3 year, 4 years, 3 years with the
I
fourth
would
year
do
option?
me personally. I would do 3 years.
3 year with the fourth year option?
Yeah, three. I'll say through 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth year option, depending on depending on the person. We don't know what's going to happen after he signed his contract. But
We don't.
I don't. One thing is, I just don't want to see Josh Jacobs in another uniform. That's the one thing I don't want to
Oh,
see.
that would hurt so much. No, not Josh, not Jacobs. Nah, that's our dog. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he
Mm-mm.
is the offense. Let's keep
Yeah,
it
he is.
real.
Let's keep it. Yeah, like we
He
have
is.
Tay,
He
we
is
have
the
Waller,
offense.
but he's our offense. Like he is our offense. It goes through him. If they get him going, it opens up everything else. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But I feel like I'm gonna say this:
Mm-hmm.
3 years, 27 million. If he wants to take a pay cut and try to build around his football team.
Oh, but is he gonna do that?
I say 3. I mean, I'm just saying as a prediction.
That's a
If you
prediction.
want to go out and spend money on this defense and spend money on this offensive line to improve, or depending
Mm-hmm.
on whoever the quarterback is, I mean, sometimes the best players don't have to make the most money.
No, they don't. Mm-mm.
I mean, when the last time we ever saw Brady take a max contract? Let's just keep it real.
Probably what?
That's
No, the beginning. Yeah.
Tom Brady. In the career that I saw in Tom Brady in New England and in Tampa Bay, that man never took a max contract. Never.
No. Yeah.
Like we see all these quarterbacks
Rogers.
don't have more than 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
Get these big contracts.
Yeah.
While Tom Brady is playing on a nice, manageable contract and wins 7. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but when have
Just
you seen
saying.
a running back do that? A
That's true
running back
too. I
do
mean,
that.
look at Ezekiel Elliott.
Look at
He's
his
not even
feet.
living up to
Yeah.
15 million a year.
Oh
So
no.
I mean,
Hmm.
you got a point there. Tony Pollard should be getting 15 million over Zeke Elliott.
On that
I'm
team.
sorry to say, but
Definitely.
another story for another time. So, anything that you saw on social media about the Raider Nation that you want to address?
You know
'Cause
what?
I've been
Yeah.
seeing some shit, man.
I,
I've
I
been seeing some shit.
I do. I do. And it kind of tends to do with this whole Brady thing, right? People
Mhm.
are mad they don't want him because of the Tuck rule. They don't want to do the Patriot way. They're like, no, that's not the Raider way. That's the Patriot way. Fuck Ziegler and fuck McDaniels, and then bring in their Patriot way. We got to do it the Raider way. I'm like, look, man, I get that. I became a Raider fan in the 80s as a kid.
Mhm.
The Raider mystique. Learned about the team from the 60s and 70s,
Mhm.
videos, stuff like that, meeting the players. So I understand the Raider mystique. But I think there's something we need to understand is that changed a long time ago. People don't come to our stadium the same way they used to back then. There
Mhm.
was this fear to it. You know, there was this fear to it. And this team is changing, and a lot of the fans don't know how to accept it. And is the change good? It all depends on who you ask. Some dudes would love to keep it the way. I have an uncle. He still thinks we should throw deep all the time, like Al Davis and Jim Plunkett. And that's the way we're gonna win. you know? And that was like, bro, relax. Like the times have changed. Like, yes, it's a quarterback offensive friendly league, but the organization needs to start evolving with the way the NFL and the fans need to be open to that. But you can still keep that Raider mystique to it. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean it's gonna go away. That's where us, the fans, the people on social media, that's the ones where we keep that mystique going. You know.
Right.
But this shit going on right now about fuck Carr, you Kardashians, you this, you that, you guys go cheer for Brady, go on Brady's net. Like, man, at the end of the day, if he's a Raider, he's a Raider. That's it. I'm not gonna not cheer for the team because he's on the Raiders because of what happened with the Tuck rule. Am I one of those people who holds on to it? Yeah, I got a shirt that says it was a fumble, with the picture on it. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I can't let that stuff go if he's gonna come to my team, if it's gonna make us better. When we got a general manager, people didn't know how to deal with the Raiders having a general manager because Al made all the decisions.
Right. That's a fact.
you know?
That
It
is,
was like,
yeah.
yeah. I remember as a kid, I go, who's the Raiders general manager? They were like, nah, man, Al Davis does that. I'm like, what?
Yo, I remember that I'm like, yo, Al Davis needs to get a general manager. He needs to do it. But
right.
I agree, man. The mystique is there. Understand that you want to have your history, just win, baby, commitment to excellence, da da da. As far as the commitment to excellence part, I feel like Mark Davis is commitment to profit. It's not commitment to excellence with him anymore.
It's definitely changed.
Commitment to profit. That's just me. Yeah. But I understand the mystique. I understand, you know, the Kardashians and all this stuff. What makes me mad about it is it just makes the whole nation divided.
Yeah.
And I understand that people don't want to go out and get Tom Brady, because I'm one of the ones that don't want to go get Tom Brady, not because of the tuck rule. I just think it's father time as an athlete.
That's different. You know what I'm saying?
You know? And me personally, I kind of let that hurt go from the tuck rule. It's like, how long can I really hold on to that?
Right.
I mean, after the tuck rule, look how many times we've been fucked over. Let's talk about nobody talks about the index card.
Oh, I do.
Against Dallas, nobody talks about that shit. Nobody talked about last year in the playoffs against the Bengals where they blew the whistle. But we keep talking about a tuck rule because it's Tom Brady.
And all the
Let that hurt go.
Right.
7 Super Bowls came and gone after that. We can't do nothing about it. We can't turn back the hand of time. And sometimes we have to, yes, the mystique is there. And I'm not saying take away from the mystique. But sometimes you gotta leave the past in the past.
Yeah.
We have not had a great, we only had 3 winning seasons in what, 20 years?
20 years.
Sometimes the history the history is there. I still watch the Raiders history and watch it on NFL films and stuff like that. Still watch it on YouTube. It's good to watch because you need to know your history about your football team.
Right.
But I'm all about winning now. Like, I want to win now so those legends can be like, yo, I could go to a Raiders game and my boys is going to ball out and not let me down. Those Tim Browns, anybody that's a Raider legend, Charles Woodson, like, yo, these guys want to come to Raiders games, but Allegiant Stadium is starting to look like a goddamn circus. You want to put a goddamn club in the end zone? That's not Raider football.
Oh no! Talk about trying to be like Jerry Jones. Like, relax, bro.
That's
like,
not Raider football. That's what I say is commitment to profit with Mark Davis, because he wants to do anything to bring fans in the stands. I have no problem with that. But having a club at the end of your end zone is a distraction to your football team. Is a distraction to your product. And people be like, oh, he got to make money. Yeah, you got to make money. But now you want to be pissed at the fans, Mark Davis, because you see more fans that's not Raiders in the stands because nobody can afford those goddamn tickets. They can't afford the tickets, and the product that you're putting out on the football field is the reason why nobody wants to buy Raiders tickets. It wasn't like that back in Oakland. I used to live in Oakland. I was back and forth from Philly to Oakland every summer. Like, I'm not one of those East Coast Raiders fans that never went to a Raiders game at the Coliseum. Not the Coliseum, the Black Hole.
The O.
I'm thinking of LA because I got an aunt that lives in LA too that loves US. So, like, when it comes to the Black Hole, you see that fan base different than what you see at Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, it's way different. And I tell people that all the time. I mean, when we were going to Vegas, I knew there was going to be change. And you see them bring the Black Hole. That is not the Black Hole. We can put the sign up. We could put the sign up. Gorilla can be in there, whatever. Like, I love you guys, but that is not the Black Hole. The stadium itself has a completely different vibe. Do I like it? Yeah, it's renovated, state of the art. It's brand new. The first time you walk in there, you see the torch.
Right.
Like, damn, that's the torch. You see the feel. Like, damn, this is the stadium my team deserved. But there's just something about the vibe when you're at the game. If you've been to Oakland, if you remember the Coliseum, this is not a Raider game. This is not a Raider game. The music is different. The way they hype you up is different. The vibe is just different.
The vibe is different in Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, way different. Way different. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I've never been to Allegiant Stadium and I can tell the vibe is different.
Yeah? You've never been, but you can tell?
I never been. I never been to.
Okay.
I never been to Vegas in general.
Oh, okay.
So listen. If they give me hype like they did last year,
Mhm.
if they give me hype like they did last year, then I might just buy a ticket.
Okay.
I might buy a ticket. Who knows?
I go because it's closer for me. It's a 3-hour drive, 1-hour flight.
See, you got a 1-hour flight. See, I'm already in Philadelphia, bro. Like
No, I get you.
that shit gonna cost me like $600 round trip just to get
Yo,
to
no, I get
Vegas.
it. Yeah.
So I would love to get to a Raiders game. Hopefully, YouTube will support me in that. So I would love y'all for to help us out with that. We appreciate it.
Right?
We appreciate it.
Mhm.
Any donation is a good donation. It goes back into the channel or it goes back to anything that's part of the Raider Nation. Simple as that.
Right.
So, any final thoughts before we head out of here, man? Because I think we basically covered everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think we did today. I think like it just goes back to what you were saying, the whole divided nation thing. Like that shit
Okay.
needs to stop. That'd be my final thought. Like that shit needs to stop. Like whether you were a Carr fan or you liked him or you hated him, like he's gone. He's gone. Like yes, he's still officially on the team or whatever, but it's time to move on. Whether you like them, you can follow him. Whether you hate him, we don't need to be talking shit, bringing all that shit up. The little small comments like, "Oh, so and so has more playoff wins than Derek Carr does now in his history." Like you don't need to do all that. Like why do people like to create that divide in the nation? We're already getting enough hate outside of it. We don't need to start be hating amongst it and each other. Like that shit needs to stop.
We deal with it all the time. Like even when the Dallas game came on yesterday, Dak threw 2 interceptions and he choked again against the San Francisco 49ers back to back. Oh, we see why Derek Carr is better than Dak. But all year, Dak Prescott was better than Derek Carr. And what makes it so ironic to me about these Raider fans, Dak Prescott has had many interceptions as Derek Carr this year. He had the same amount. They both have 14 interceptions. But we say, oh, Dak Prescott's better than Derek Carr. Oh, we say Carr's better than Prescott. Okay, stop making a fucking comparison.
Right?
They both play like shit. They both have 14 interceptions. Simple as that. One just went to the playoffs because they was in the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? They had a more of a weaker schedule than the Las Vegas Raiders did. Which we always get a tough schedule. So the Raider Nation needs to stop that. They need to stop that bullshit for real.
Yeah.
They need to stop that bullshit. Because one thing about me, I'm one of them realistic Raider fans, and I'll come with facts with it.
Right.
Not no suggestions, no, oh, I guess, I think. No, I know. We've been Raiders fans for too long, bro. Too long. So I'm just ready to see consistency out of this team, man.
I am. I'm ready for the culture of the team to change, to start winning. I got my nephews, the younger ones, to buy into the Raiders. And they say it every year. Like, why can't we win? What the hell? And I'm like, this is part of being a Raider fan. Sadly, this is part of being a Raider fan right now. So
we the most bipolar football team and fan base in the league.
Right.
We love them when they win, but we gonna rip them to shreds when we lose. Especially the Raiders Twitter. My God.
Oh.
Don't get on listen, stay where you at. Do not get on Twitter.
I will not.
I stopped getting on Twitter. Even though I've got it down here at Spotlight Art and Talk. Listen, if you at me, then I'll respond. But as far as regular tweeting, hell no. And I won't hashtag Raider Nation because they will get on.
Yeah,
they got on me when Tom Brady looked like shit against Dallas. They got on me. I was like, because this is what I said in the tweet. I said, oh, this is the quarterback that you want. This is the quarterback that you want.
Yeah, of course they were gonna get on you. Oh, he has one bad game. You can't sum up his career that way. Like, nah,
I'm like, oh, so he could throw the deep ball to who? What arm does he have to throw that deep ball? Yeah. I love Tom Brady. He's one of the greatest of all time, but Father Time is here.
Yeah.
Father Time is here. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing But Raiders podcast is definitely in the books, man. Definitely in the books, man. How you feeling, bro? We
I
finally
love
able
it,
to talk
bro.
Raider football, man.
Man, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to get more into the off season because this is going to be hopefully, one of the better off seasons that we've had in a long time.
Yes.
You know,
I just really
This is
hope
gonna
the
be
team
dope.
can be really smart about who they
Yes,
bring in
about who they bring in,
and who they
what
draft.
free agents, who they draft, all that stuff. Like, be smart about it.
Oh,
See
we're
what
gonna
they
get
do.
more in depth into it. It's gonna be a lot of rumors coming out week by week, and
Oh,
we're going to talk
definitely.
about those rumors. You know, even though I didn't. I'm waiting for that topic for next week. I ain't gonna say nothing yet though.
All
I'm
right.
waiting for
All
that
right.
topic for next week. I think we're gonna talk about that off air, man. We gotta talk about that off air, but
Okay.
thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Nothing But Raiders podcast. Like I said, you can, rewatch it here on the Spotlight Football Talk right here on the YouTube channel, and you can actually listen to the audio of it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. They will both be uploaded there. So make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Twitter at Spotlight RN Talk, Instagram at Spotlight Raiders Talk. Let them know where they can find you at, brother.
Oh, bro, definitely. You can find me on Instagram at Cheeto Linus. And just one more thing for everybody else out there listening. Remember, we're watching these NFC Championship, AFC Championship. When the game's over, you remind them and you just yell, Raiders!
Oh, just like this?
Touchdown!
Like that.
Raiders!
I had to put that audio in there. I
Do
had to
it,
do
bro.
it, man.
Do it. I
had to
did it
do
on
it.
Sunday.
I had to do it. See, what's the funny thing is the fact that the 49ers scored a Christian McCaffrey and I did it.
Touchdown! Raiders!
That's exactly what I did when the 49ers scored.
And he does their games now, right?
Huh?
He does their games now, right?
Exactly. He does their
Yeah.
games now. But I don't like the new announcer that we have.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm not really a big fan of him, but
Mhm.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. And then I'm gonna get
Like
some
Greg
other
Papa.
sound bites when the season come, like Just Win Baby and stuff like that. There's gonna be some more sound bites that's gonna come in soon. But hey, man, it's been fun doing this podcast, and I
Oh, for
cannot
sure,
wait
bro.
till next Tuesday to have this other podcast up, man. I can't wait. This is number 2. I recorded a podcast earlier today and today. That's
Okay.
2. I got 3 more to go.
Do
I
it,
got
bro.
3
Do
more to
you.
go within the next week or so. So
Uh-huh.
the grind is real. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Apple Podcast and the Spotify for Nothing But Raiders podcast. And we're gonna have some fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of talk. We're gonna have some guests up here as well. I have been talking to a few people that's Raider podcasters or stuff like that. We're gonna get to interview them. Hopefully, we could probably get some legends up here too. We can probably get
Oh,
some
man, that would
legends
be
up here.
dope.
So it's gonna be a lot of stuff in the works, man. A lot of stuff in the works. So we out of here, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all next week on Nothing But Raiders podcast. We out of here, y'all. Peace, blessings, and we out.